Okay, what are we doing today?
Graphing of the line.
We are finding the equations of a line. Very good.
I just got. So long.
You guys write down the notes. While you guys are, I've learned that you guys can't multitask.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, you're fine. Sorry, Steven. You're good. I'll move. I'll move my head.
We ready yet? Okay. Today what we're doing is finding the equation of a line given 2 points or a point to slope. Now, you guys have all done this before. How do I know that you've all done this before? Because you all passed geometry. You don't have one. If you passed geometry, that means that you have been able to find the equation of a line. Y equals mx plus b is slope-intercept form. Point slope is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Now, these two methods will give you the exact same answer. It's just a little bit different. What do I mean by that? The work's different. The answer is the same. Okay? So, slope-intercept form, y, m, and x all turn into values. B is what's left. Once you're done with that, you find b, then you plug and chug back into y equals mx plus b. So, y equals mx plus b, that's the plugged and chugged 2 times. Do you understand what I just said? You always label your point x, y whenever you're using y equals mx plus b. Okay? Now, the next method is the point slope method, and it's y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. You keep the x, the y, and everything else turns into numbers. Then, what are you doing to find your answer? You are solving for y. When you solve for y, you're completely done. So how many times do I have to plug and chug on this one? Once. And I only have to do that one time, and then I can find my answer immediately. The difference is I'm going to make my values for my point be labeled as x1, y1. Now, we're going to do 2 problems. They will be exactly the same problem, and I'm going to do them both methods so that you guys have flexibility. You can decide which method you prefer. We ready? M is equal to -3, and you have the point 2, -5. So the first method we're going to use is slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So in that, what stays and what goes? What stays? B is what stays, and everything else turns into what? Values. So what do I label my point as here? No. Come again?
Y is negative.
Oh, are you giving me the answer as to what the equation is? Okay. First, before we do that, you're a step ahead of me. What do I label my point as? X and Y. Okay? Bo's correct, so this is X. is y. So now, please read it off for me. What's going to be my equation here?
-5 equals -3.
Plus b. Mo's absolutely right. So -5 is equal to -3 times 2 plus b. Now, what am I going to solve for in this? I'm going to solve for b. So if I'm solving for b, -5 is equal to -6 plus b. Now, what do I do to solve for this? I'm going to add 6 to both sides. If I add 6 to both sides, this is going to give me 1 is equal to b. Well, I found b. Am I done? No, because what does my equation always have to look like? Y equals mx plus b. Well, this is just a value b. So I need to go back here, and I need to write down mx plus b, and what stays and what goes in this equation. What stays? The y and the x stay. So what is m? -3. The x stays. What's b? 1. This is your final answer.
She ought to get the other number anyway.
So that would be your answer.
So that is my final answer right there. Y equals -3x plus 1. Okay? That is my final answer. Now, we're going to do the exact same problem over again, but now which method am I going to use? The other method, which is point slope. So exactly the same information given. What I need to do here is I need to write down my point slope formula. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Okay? What do I label my point in this one? X1, Y1. Mo, you're on it today. Can't see moving, made you focus. I do believe. What stays? The y and the x stay. Very good. So those stay, and everything else turns into what? Numbers. Okay? So I'm going to have y minus, what's y1? Is equal to, what's m? -3, the x stays, and what's x1? 2. Now, I want you to take an extra step and change your minus and negative to what? A positive. Because if you don't, you're going to jack up your equation, and that's not going to be good. Okay? We all see that. So now, what should we do? So what should we do? Distribute. -3x plus 6. Now what? Subtract 5. So y is equal to -3x plus 1. Done. Now, based upon that, look at these two things. What can you tell me? Who in here likes the first method better? Everyone has to vote. Who in here likes the second method better? Huh. Do you understand they both will get you the same exact answer? Good. Let's do it again. Well, you have to learn how to do both of them, so. Next. Okay, now we're given the 2 points, and now what do I have to find? Why do I have to find slope? Because in the previous example, I was given a slope and a point. In order to find the equation of y, you have to have a slope. In this example, I'm giving you 2 points, but I don't have a slope. But how can I find the slope given 2 points? Rise over run is the graphical definition. What's my algebraic? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which means, what do I label my points as? x1, y1, x2, y2. Yes? So now I plug and chug. What is y2? 8 minus -2, -3 minus -5. Minus and negative is what, folks? The positive. So this is going to be 8 plus 2 over -3 plus 5. Do you see how I took the extra time to write that step? Because if you don't, 50% of your mistakes come from the slope. If you don't have the slope right, then you ever possibly have the equation correct. No, so do we understand why I want you to take the time to do that? Okay, so now what is 8 plus 2? 10. And -3 plus 5 is? Does it give me? 5, that's my slope. Do we all agree? Okay. Now, if I'm giving you a slope of 5, and I have 2 points, does it matter which point I choose now? It doesn't matter, does it? Why does it not matter? Because the slope was calculated on 2 points, not just 1 point. So it doesn't matter which point you choose because I can use any point on that line. Agree? So now I'm going to choose this point. Tyler, which point would you like to choose?
May I have your attention, please? At this time, Cannot Valley students may be released. Drivers, please sign out in the attendance office. Thank you.
Okay, so now if I'm given that point and that slope, which method would you like to use, Tyler? The first one or the second method? First method, y equals x plus b. So now, if I'm using y equals mx plus b, I'm going to label my point what? X and y. Because everything turns into a value except for b. Very good, Miranda. So now, y is -2, m is 5, x is going to be -5 plus b. Yay, nays? No? What's the matter? Okay, where are we lost at? We need to find you. Do you understand? Do we understand why we have the slope? We don't understand why we have the slope? Okay, I'm giving you 2 points. In order to find the equational line, you have to find the slope. Okay? Since I didn't give you the slope, you have to calculate the slope. So we're going to calculate the slope by using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. With me? I labeled my points x1, y1, x2, y2. I plug and chug, I calculate, I get m equals 5. Are we good on that? Certain. So I have my slope being 5, and now I'm going to choose a point. Tyler told me to choose the first point. Right? Then I asked Tyler which method I wanted to use. He wanted to use, and he said the first method, y equals mx plus b. You with me? Then, because we're using the first method, I have to choose to label my points x and y. Okay? Then I plug in everything except for b because I don't know what b is. You with me now? Have you been found? Okay, so now I have -2 is equal to -25 plus b. Now what do I do here? Add 25 to both sides, very good. I have 23 is equal to b. Am I done?
No.
Why?
Gotta get back.
I have to use y equals mx plus b. And this time, since I'm using y equals mx plus b, what stays and what goes? X and y stay, the slope is 5, the x stays, and b is 23. There's my equation. Yep.
B at the box and the B equals 23, you know?
No.
Alright.
Are we good? Okay. Same exact problem. Okay? But this time, using point slope. So, do I need to show you how to find the slope again? No. If I don't need to show you how to find the slope, I'm just going to write down that the slope is 5. Now, last time Tyler chose -5, -2, right? So this time I'm going to choose the opposite point, -3, 8. Because I want to prove to you that it doesn't matter which point I use. And last time Tyler chose y equals mx plus b, so I'm going to choose point slope this time, which is going to be y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Yay, nays? Okay, so with that said, now what do I do? my point is?
X1,
X1, Y1. Okay, so what stays and what goes in this formula? Y and X what? Y and X stay or go? They stay. So the Y stays and the X stays. Everything else turns into numbers. So that means Y minus 8 is equal to 5 times X minus negative 3. Everybody with me? What's minus a negative? So I have Y minus 8 is equal to 5 times X plus 3. Now what? 2 words, 1 letter. You've written it down several times. 2 words, 1 letter. I'm looking for 2 words, 1 letter. What am I doing? I need to solve for Y. Very good. I'm solving for Y. So I distribute the 5, so that gives me 5x plus 15, and now what? Still solving for Y. Add 8. Y is equal to 5x plus 23. How many people really kind of like the point and slope formula? Really? I like it because it's nice and neat and organized, right? It comes right down into an upside down pyramid, doesn't it?
yeah.
Okay? I don't have to plug and chug. I only plug and chug once, I'm good to go. It's all a matter of preference, correct? Okay, what about this one? I give you the slope equaling 0 and a point being 1,5. Okay, I want you to go back to the picture that I've drawn on this board like 4 times in the last time that we've had class, seriously. This picture right here. Where would ground 0 be? Flat. Horizontal line would be ground 0, correct? That's where you would build something, right? Ground 0 is where we're going to build the towers again, right? Okay, so with that said, what does slope equaling 0 mean?
0.
It's 0 slope, which means I'm right here. And what do all lines look like? There. Not physically. What is the equation of them? Sorry. It's y equals a number. So if it's y equals a number, I want you to graph the point 1,5 on your lovely little paper. The point 1,5 is approximately right there, correct? I need to have a horizontal line through the point 1,5. Yay, nays? Okay? So here's my horizontal line. Pretend that's horizontal. Kind of looks like a bow. Sorry, it's a bowed line. Okay, well, can you tell me about every point that's on that line? What do all these points have in common on this line? What's 5? What is 5?
Y.
What is 5?
Y.
Y is 5. How many times is y 5? Every time. So what's my equation? Y equals 5. No work required. The problem is done. Do we understand that? That is a freebie. You should be able to get that. Nothing flat. Do we understand that? Moving on. What about this one? M is equal to undefined, and the point is through 3, negative 7. Well, here's my point, 3, negative 7. It's down here, right? Your slope is undefined, it's undetermined, and what marks the spot? X marks the spot because we're waiting for our treasure that's undefined. We don't know what it is, right? So what's the equation of that line look like? X equals what? Why is it X equals 3? Because every single point on that vertical line has what in common? X is 3. So since X is 3, you have to have the equation X equals 3. Do we understand that? No work required. Many of you are looking at me like you're really bored. Tonight's homework is a worksheet. Yes.
Yeah, that's what that is.
I didn't know.
Okay, on the front of the worksheet that I just passed out to you, the directions say find the equation using y equals mx plus b at this line and slope-intercept form given the following information. Your final answer should be written in the form of y equals mx plus b. What does that mean? That means you're using y equals mx plus b on the entire front, and what do you label every one of your points that you're given? X and Y. If I were you, I'd write that at the top of your paper so that when you have a brain fart tonight, you know where to go. Write it on your paper. So when you do it,
What are we supposed to write on?
y equals mx plus b,
It's already on there.
label the point x, y. Think of it this way, it's your lantern for you when you go get lost through the woods.
I got that data.
How's that working for you?
Good, I haven't paid any free yet.
Turn it over. On the back, the directions say write the equation line using the point slope formula. Your final answer should be written in the form of y equals mx plus b. So I'm telling you to use the point slope formula, which is, if you write it at the top of your paper, you never have to look at your notes again, right? Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And what do I label my points as? X1, Y1. Again, I would write that at the top of your paper on the back so that when you get lost doing your homework tonight, you have a little bit of help to help you with your brain part. Yes? We ready? Number 3. Come on, gotta start your homework. Ain't that special, May? I start your homework for y'all.
I already got it. You ain't got all your.
Okay, you have 30 seconds to do this problem starting now. 25 seconds remaining.
Oh, man.
20 seconds remaining.
I was starting to write it out.
Write the answer down if you know it. You have 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
We got it.
All right, what's the answer, Miranda? Wrong. Logan?
3.
What? What about 3?
Y equals 3.
Why is it y equals 3?
Because it's the Y point.
Because it's ground zero, and whenever we're at ground zero, we have a slope of 0, which means it's a horizontal line, and all lines that are horizontal have an equation of y equals a number, right? Freebie, moving on. Number 4.
We have a time limit on this one, do we?
Nope, no it's not. Now what do? I give you the slope 3/4 going through the point, negative 3/5, and what formula do we have to use? We have to use y equals mx plus b. So now, what do I label my point? X and y. What stays and what goes? B stays, everything else goes. So what's y? M, X, B stays. What do I do with that negative 3? Put it over 1 and multiply it by 3/4, which means what am I doing to the tops and the bottoms? Marrying them by operation of multiplication. So this is going to be 5 is equal to negative 9 over 4 plus b. Well, gee, folks, what do I have there? A fraction. Do we like fractions? Do we know how to get rid of them? How do we get rid of them?
Multiply by the
Multiply by the denominator. And the denominator in this case would be 4. So I'm going to multiply each term by 4. Because the reciprocal of negative 9 over 4 would be 4 over negative 9. How is that going to help you get rid of a fraction? It's going to create another fraction. True statement.
Yeah, it was.
No, it's not the answer. Wrong. What is 4 times 5, Alan?
20.
Is equal to, what's 4 times negative 9/4? What happens to the 4s?
Oh,
They cancel, and what am I left with? Negative 9. What's 4 times b, Alan? 4b. Do I have any ugly fraction now? No. So what am I solving for? I'm solving for b, so what do I do? I'm going to add 9. That gives me 29 is equal to 4b. Now what? Divide by 4. And I get 29 over 4 is equal to b. Yes? Am I done? I don't want to box that in because that bothers Alan when I box it in. So now, what's my answer? I write down y equals mx plus b. What stays? The y and the x stays. So y stays with m.
3/4.
3/4, that was given. The x stays with b.
29/4.
Am I done?
Yeah.
Can I box it in, Alan?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Was it as bad as what you thought? No. So can you guys do problem 5 and 6?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah. 11. Turn it over. Oh, she gave me 2 points. What does that mean? Oh, we have an extra step. Mrs. Yoder's going to make you find this slow. Ain't she nice?
Yeah.
Okay, what do I do first? Label your points, x1, y1, x2, y2, and the reason why we're doing that is because we have to find the slope. Yes? Oh, yeah. That's right. What do I do? Plug it in. That's right. 29 minus 20 over negative 21 minus negative 12. What's minus a negative, y'all? Plus a positive. So what's 29 minus 20? What's negative 21 plus 12? You don't like subtracting, count up. 20, 12 goes up to 20 by 8. Add 1 more, gives you 9. Negative. Give you negative 1 is equal to m. So now I have m is a negative 1, and I have to choose a point. What point would you like to choose, Brooke? The first one, because that will make it really easy. And what method do I have to use on the back?
Point slope.
Y minus y1 is equal to, yikes, m times x minus x1. And what do we have to label our point when we are using point slope? X1, y1, very good, Alexis. And what stays and what goes? Y and x stay. Excellent. So now, what is y1? 20 minus y minus 20 is equal to m. Negative 1, x stays minus x1. What's x1? Good. What's minus a negative? Plus a positive. Please go ahead and take the extra step there so you don't jack up your problem like it's so easy to leave done. Negative 1 times x plus 12. Now what do I do? 2 words with 1 letter. 2 words in a letter. Solve for y. So if I'm solving for y, that's y minus 20 is equal to negative x minus 12. Now what? Add the 20. And I get y is equal to negative x plus 8. And I can box that in because I am done. Do you see what I see? Way up on the board over here.
Please tell me not recording.
I absolutely am. Everyone needs a little bit of song in their life.
Yeah,
Here it is.
Put on the
Don't
video.
put page up.
Oh, honey, if I could, I'd be a millionaire because I would quit then. Any questions? Do we all know what we're doing on tonight's homework? Yes? So tonight, whenever you're confused, you don't know what you're doing, you get out your notes and you look at a couple of samples. Hey, excellent.
You need the phone.
Yes, I do.